Welcome to the Diner Podcast, where we eat our lunch for breakfast.
What's going on?
Nothing. I've been very busy on our intros.
Been slaving away.
I have.
All week.
I kind of took the notion of what like a lot of other places did, and I like the whole new year kind of new vibe to our stuff.
New year, new me.
But I also do that anyway, where I get bored with stuff, and I haven't changed it up in a while, so I felt as if it was time for all new things.
All new things. Well, they look good. What I've seen so far, it looks very good.
I've tried my best. I'm learning.
Yeah. Well, for everybody who doesn't know who we are, welcome to the Diner Podcast. Red Velvet Uncle Lump. Sorry.
Hello.
The mirror.
The point.
But
my kid said that the other day. I was setting up stuff or whatever, and she was sitting with me, and she went to do something, and she went, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's mirrored. It's really hard to get used to. You gotta because I feel like I'm pointing away from you, but it looks like I'm running my finger into your finger."
Oh, I'm pointing to you. I was trying to point to you.
No, you gotta hold your hand at the other end of the screen, so then you can just continue my finger going. Never mind. That didn't work.
What's been going on?
Oh, nothing. I went to the gym this morning, got back into my routine, and I feel so much better. And now my wife just got home, and my dog was in here with me, so now she's going to whine like a baby. So hold on for a second, because I'm not listening to her the whole time.
Mom, feed me. I'm hungry. I haven't had food yet.
Yeah. Well, it's Wednesday.
It is.
It is.
Well,
Wednesday.
the snow day is kind of really fucked with everything.
Dude, snow days, they're like, they don't even exist. Like, those are just days they're free days because there's no way in heck to.
Because you have the kids at home, and it's like they're excited because it's snowing, they're out of school, it's fun. So like, I remember as a kid, those were always the best. And they went to the stupid e-learning things, and which I get it. They don't want to have to stay longer and all that fun stuff. But I love that they just went to actual snow days this time. Yeah. And did you guys get to play?
We played a little bit. It was Sunday. Sundays when it snowed real bad or started to snow real bad. And I tried to hold them off as long as possible because just getting hit in the face with snow and shit while you're trying to do other stuff. I hate it. I hate snow anyway. But we ended up going to my parents' house on Sunday. My brother came and we did some power sledding around the farm. And then they were frozen. They're like, ah! So we went and had they had hot chocolate. I had hot coffee. So I'm an adult. And
hot chocolate's delicious.
It is good. I just don't get me started on hot. We got apparently that's the most popular drink in our household because I have 5,000 dirty cups of hot chocolate and it's stuck in there and it's gross.
Well, what do you want them to do? Reuse the cup every time?
When you get 3 cups back to back to back, you don't need 3 new damn cups.
It's the rinse afterwards that's important. It's the not immediately dropping it into the sink and letting it sit there. I've learned. So that has been a conversation at our household too, because then shit gets dried on it.
We'll rinse there and we'll get it done. And
for us stay-at-home dads, it becomes a fucking pain in the ass.
It sucks because I try to cheat and run through the dishwasher. It don't work. So then I try to scrub it by hand. It don't work. And then I just throw it in the trash.
Yep. See, I am our dishwasher, so it's all scrubbed by hand. So I start, which thank God my wife jumps in and does it because that is like my kryptonite. I hate the dishes. I do them, but I make a mess. I get soaking wet, and I'm just like, I'm kind of OCD anyway. So I obsessively wash the dishes. So it takes me for fucking ever.
What grinds my gears is sometimes I have one of the kids unload the dishwasher and they don't look before they just put it. And they just blindly put it up there. Well, there's some that have shit still in it. And I'll go to pour a drink and I'm like, done. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
I don't care if I did the dishes. I will still always check the bowl, the cup, whatever. I will rewash that fucker immediately.
I call it, I got to soak it then. If I pull it out and it's got grum, nope, we got to soak it. And I sit it there for 3 days and it doesn't go anywhere.
I've had to do better. I've learned that I was quite a germaphobe and I didn't realize that I was a germaphobe. But I would get OCD about things like that, where I would look at the bowl and if it even had whatever, a speck that was missed or something, I would go rewash it or like, I don't know. And then it was like, oh, who gives a shit? Like, just rinse it off. It'll be fine.
I found out, dude, there's not much that bothers me. Like,
That's good.
in my older age, like, shit doesn't bother me. Like, nothing. The one thing that does, and it's terrifying, gross, whatever. The other day, my wife and I were in the shower together. We were saving water. You know, you got to conserve water.
Absolutely. Those are the best showers.
Hair took right
Always.
down the wall, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that? That is disgusting!" Like, I'm
Hold on.
heaving at this point.
Is that a new thing for your household? Because this is pretty like
I
standard.
don't
I
usually see it in the app. I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, why are there hairballs everywhere?" But then she proceeded to take said hairball off the wall and put it on me. And I literally threw up everywhere, man. Like,
that is
it's
amazing.
disgusting. And I go, ugh, ugh. I'm just sitting
Great
there
job.
dying.
Great job, Jasmine.
Why do you do that? Why do people do that? It's fucking gross.
I love that she found something that actually grosses your ass out, though.
That's like one of the few.
And
I don't know what
I have
else
a
it is.
question, though.
What?
How many times have you done things that have grossed her out
Oh,
compared
like
to how many
pictures
times?
of my poop?
Yeah, exactly.
Or I'll just
you've got,
leave it in there and I just leave.
We don't need to hear about that, but
What?
you leaving it in there?
The poop in the toilet? Yeah, I do that all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's disgusting. You deserve every bit of getting hair rubbed
The
on
other
you.
day, she was talking to me because I shit with the door open because, you know, it's my room. And
You also shit live on air.
I do. I used to FaceTime.
Yeah, you'd send pictures aggressively, and you're lucky you didn't get like hashtag like canceled, Me Too, whatever, a long time ago.
Okay. Anyway, I
At
didn't
least you
send
were
pictures
just
of my balls or
sending shit to
anything.
guy. No, you were just sending shit to other guys.
I was just sending shit to people. There's
But-
nothing wrong with that.
But I think you're onto something though when you were talking about just not letting things bother you. I think that's like kind of a key to life. If you can figure out how to like get that worry out of your head, get that like not giving a shit what anyone thinks kind of mentality, because you can live in fear your whole life. That we kind of talked about this before we went on air, that you can kind of live your whole life living through like a fear thing of what other people are gonna think about, and who gives a shit? Like, they're not paying your bills. You don't see them on a day-to-day life, but you consume yourself with these people that you like, whatever you think about or whatever it is that you're like, oh, I don't want people to like think badly about me or think that I failed or think that who fucking cares? As long as you're happy with what you're doing in life, I feel like that's kind of key.
You could be on the ultimate path of success, and people still going to talk shit. They're going to either say, you know, oh, you just stole the idea from somebody and took it, or oh, they just, you know, they got lucky, or you know, why couldn't I do it? Why could it doesn't matter. There was an old adage I used to hear all the time. So if you want to please everybody, sell ice cream. Well, in today's world, you can't even please everybody selling fucking ice cream because they'll bitch about that too. So it's just got to do what's best for you and yours.
Yep. It's too cold. People are lactose intolerant. Like, it doesn't matter what you do in life. Someone's going to take offense to it. You literally, but if you try to live your life pleasing everybody, you almost lose who you are as a person because you're not thinking about what you need. And a lot of people look at that as being selfish, but it's not. If you're not happy as a person, how the fuck are you going to make other people happy? Like, you can fake it, but I feel like you can feel that authenticity. You can feel the realism of it and find what makes you happy in life and do it. It doesn't matter if it starts off as a hobby, especially this will be our first podcast of the new year.
Yeah.
Is that right? So go for it. It's the first of the year.
Second.
We didn't. Did we put one out Thursday? I don't think I put one out New Year's or
no. Monday was the first one of the new year.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Today's fucking Wednesday.
Yeah, today's not Monday.
That's right. Okay, so second podcast of the new year, but we kind of talked about that with Cody, that like if you have a dream, a passion, even if it's just like wanting to get in the gym and you're scared, wanting to make changes in your life, look at those things. Like, I feel like I spent most of my life hiding from those things, whether it was when I was 300 pounds and I told myself that I liked what I was looking at? I absolutely didn't. I was embarrassed of how fat I got. That's that picture I took in that suit, and I put those side by side. That's a lot of my motivation to not let myself get back to that point, because that was like, they took that picture of me and I remember looking at it and they all kept, oh dude, you look really good. And I looked at it and I'm like, what the fuck did you do to yourself? Like,
I hate myself.
pretty much. And it was like, man, you let this turn to this. Like, that was one of those big moments for me, I feel like, that kind of set me into motion for this. I still didn't do fuck all of anything about it until I left that job. I was in that, we talked about grooves. Like, you get in that groove of life and it's just like, well, this is too hard to change. I can never do this. Like, I can tell you, if I took that mentality 2 years ago, I would have never in a million fucking years thought this is what we'd be doing, or that I would have lost 100 pounds. None of it. So if that helps one person take that leap and go for it, do it. Take whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, whatever it is that you keep putting off right now, just today. Take whatever step you can take to make that thing a reality, and just keep taking steps every single day, whether that's in the gym, whether that's with your diet, with your profession, with your family, step by step, day by day. You're not going to get there without starting. If you never start that adventure, you're never going to fucking get there. So take my words of advice and just start. Because I left myself pissed off a lot, looking like, and I didn't realize it was a lot of because of how embarrassed I was of how I looked, or like I was constantly stressed out with work. I was whatever. And I didn't like that about myself, but I was doing nothing to change it. So until I started making those steps, and then you start kind of rewiring your brain that way, and then you start learning other things that, oh, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like that. And then again, you just take that same mentality of, okay, well, what do I need to do to fix it? What do I need to do to get there? And take those steps daily and try to do something to make that a reality. If you sit back and just constantly hope, wish, and pray in a bucket that these things are going to happen, but you don't take any steps to make it happen, I think that's like where I was at, and I was driving myself fucking nuts.
Yeah. The whole time you said that step by step, day by day. I'm sitting up. Remember the show Step by Step? Yeah. We need to be on a roller coaster.
Yeah, it is though. Like, I feel like that's how I did all of this, with my mentality, with my weight, with doing this podcast. Like, for anyone who did not know me before we started doing this, and I guess people just know the rambling that I say on here a lot, but I was terrified to speak to people like all the time. Oh, I was so confused. Are you going to play the intro? Do it.
But hold on, I got to get the screen off. How the fuck do you do this?
I love that we can just throw things on the screen now. This is amazing.
Well, fuck it. We're just going to have to do this real quick.
Yeah, just play. It'll be okay.
You shed tears of fire for the city that step by step, day by day.
There we go.
There we go. Love it. But yeah, that is exactly what I did. But it really is like that taking that process, but we live in a very instant gratification. So that part is hard, because you kind of have to break that habit too, of like needing that instant gratification all the time. Because that was something too where I didn't get the results. So I went through every fad diet, different process.
What was your favorite fad diet?
Ooh, I really enjoy the carnivore style, but I can't do.
Why, so you eat hot dogs?
No, I hate fucking hot dogs. That's why I didn't do the hot dog eating competition. I would have vomited. I would have eaten one or two. I've never liked hot dogs though. I'll do them in a ballpark occasionally, but that's just like that, like ambiance of being at a ballpark and having a hot dog. But I do not like hot. Even when I'm eating it, I'm like, why did I do this? Like, I could have gotten nachos or anything else that I actually enjoy. Instead, I'm eating this piece of shit hot dog.
So what did you do with the car? Like, literally you just eat meat and that's it?
Pretty much. So a lot of what I did was like, I learned cooking things in butter, weirdly enough, was a lot of what I read was much better for you than most of the like vegetable oil and seed oil just because of all the bullshit that's in them. There's tons of bad shit in it. So not that the butter, I really don't know. For anyone listening to this, I am not a nutritionist. I am just going to talk about the shit that I've done and learned.
Trial and error risk.
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly what it is. I'm very open-minded. I actually just had this conversation this morning at the gym. They're going to do one of those sound healing things at the gym coming up.
When's that?
So there's a place in town here called...
Oh, I know that. When is that? When is
Oh,
that?
that event is... Hold on. Un momento.
Have you ever tried to put anything in lard?
No, I have not yet.
I didn't know if that was still good.
Okay, so Monday, January 20th at 6:30 at Peak. It's $5 for members, and I think it's $10 for just anyone who walks in, but they're going to do a sound healing. And we just had that conversation this morning because I was just talking about being very open-minded with trying things, and if it works, cool. If it doesn't, then I just, okay, cool. It wasn't for me, and I move on to the next thing. But that was one that I tried a while back at that age of Aquarius in town, and it was fascinating. They did one while I was standing there, and they kind of just did one over your head, and it was like, it kind of like put you in a little bit of a trance to an extent. And I was like, ooh, that was interesting. He goes, do you want to go try like a whole thing? And I'm like, sure. So I think it was like $30, maybe $40. I can't remember. But
yeah,
you got like 20, 30 minutes, and they do all these different like sounds, bowls. They've got like these rattle looking things, but they all make different vibrations. So the reason I tried it was because I had seen a bunch of stuff on Twitter about vibrations with like our bodies, with water, all these different things, that these certain sounds make water react in a certain pattern. They make our blood react in a certain way, similar to the water. So you can kind of use that to, I guess, in like whatever that holistic approach, you heal like from the inside out to an extent. So, but it like really does put you in a trance. And like, there were certain times where he'd be doing things and say things, and it would like take me into this like memory, or take me into this like future situation, or whatever it was, where like you kind of go on like I don't know, like some sort of trip, I guess, like without being on drugs. Yeah, kind of without being on drugs, you kind of go into this like meditation type thing, and you just kind of zone out. But it was very interesting, and I felt really, really good afterwards. So what it does, I have absolutely no idea, but it made me feel really good. So, but that's what I've done with everything. I just, if I see it and it seems like it is legit, I will do my research. I will get on AI, I will get on whatever, usually AI, and I'll just start asking it questions. Hey, what can this do for my body? This is what I am. This is how old I am. This is what I do. What will this do for my body? And I'll just keep asking it questions, and I'll figure out if it's right for me or not. And then I'll try it. And if it works, cool, I'll keep trying it. So sorry, very long-winded on what my carnivore diet was, but I wanted to kind of throw that out there as well. But for the carnivore, I cooked a lot in butter. I did salmon a lot. There's this Kinder's buttery steakhouse seasoning that I love, so I put it on pretty much everything. But I would do like burger patties in butter. I'd do salmon in butter, chicken a lot, but just a protein. And then I kind of did a modified version of it where I would have like some sort of vegetable. I would sometimes do fruit, but I tried to just do like eggs and bacon, or a couple burger patties and a couple eggs, or kind of that way. And I felt amazing. That's why I still kind of do that, where I'll gravitate more towards the protein with just something that's not, I had to get away from the potatoes. I've had to get away from fried stuff, and I'll go back every now and then. But I think I was with you the last time I went back, and I was like, my fucking face is sweating.
Well, that's how I roll, though. Fried stuffed potatoes. That's me.
Well, we were also on the road. It was when I got McDonald's at that gas station, because I hadn't eaten, and I was walking around, and the McDonald's smelled amazing. I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting the $5 meal deal. And boy, did I regret that. That hurt.
Yeah, you go from a 48-hour fast to fucking McDonald's. You should have
Yeah.
had like a salad or something. You should have eased back into eating instead of going dropping the hammer and going, I want this.
Yeah, balance is another portion I've really had to work on, and I'm still getting there. But I also think that like I do that to almost remind myself like the eating it one time is not gonna do anything other than make me not want it again. So when I get those cravings or like those situations happen, I'm like, no, go ahead, eat it, dumbass. And then after I eat it, I'm like, oh, why did I do that? That was so stupid.
McDonald's is good though. It's so not good for you. It's so tasty.
Well, no, it's that GMO shit. They literally make it addictive to your taste buds, and it like gives you this supercharged like feeling. So then that becomes an addictive feeling, just like everything else. Like you get that good feeling, and you're like, "Oh, I want that." And then normal food doesn't taste that way. So then you're eating it, going, "Why is this so fucking delicious?" But like I could sit and eat probably 4 or 5 McDonald's hamburgers, but if I order one like a hamburger from like a normal like mom and pop restaurant, I'm ordering one hamburger and I'm eating it and I'm full. Like I don't know, it just seems very weird to me that I can hammer down 1 million McDonald's hamburgers, but a normal patty I'm stuffed after 1.5.
I want to put this to the test. McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Let's do it.
Oh,
I
I
think
don't like. That's the thing with me is like I just eat my normal allotment. I'm good. Like I don't.
That's a lot of it too, is not overindulging. Like I think you can indulge in things. It's just, I think I've said this before. Rogan said it on a podcast the other day where he's like, it's just don't do it every day, dummies. Like, and that was, it kind of really resonated with me. Another person that I listened to was, weirdly enough, it was just a random clip, but it was Dan Orlovsky. And I want to say he was on Pat's show. It's been a long time ago.
Eating his lunch.
Yes, they were making fun of his lunch, and he just had like a grilled chicken breast and whatever. And he goes, I don't eat for like an event.
Pleasure.
Yeah, it's for fuel. Like this is my vessel's fuel. Like I don't really give a shit about what it is. I just know I need energy, and this is how I'm going to get my energy. And I'm like, oh, that's a really good way to look at it. So I've started kind of adopting that where midday, like I haven't eaten today at all.
Oh,
I usually I'm about 1 meal a day, and it doesn't bother me. Like I don't feel hungry. Like right now, my stomach's more bloated. I'm drinking like chia seed. I forget what it is. I think it's chia.
chai.
They have chai. There's both. There's chai and chia, I think. And I think I have chia seeds. But
I
you're
thought that was
supposed to
just a
mix them.
typo. Okay.
So you mix them with water, and they almost like blow up like Orbeez, like little bitty Orbeez. So they kind of absorb the water, and it helps with your digestion and your like hydration, because it's like when you take like a slow release pill, and it kind of like, I guess it keeps you hydrated throughout the day. So if you're like very active or you're doing shit and you're not drinking a ton of water, it'll kind of help hydrate you along the way.
So it's like a healthy boba.
Kind of, yeah. I wonder if you can see them.
I don't know. Where do you
Let's
get
look.
these at?
I got them from that Age of Aquarius store. They have like the Celtic sea salt. That's another good one. Like to do a sprinkle of that after workouts, kind of revitalizes
Just on
your
the
body.
tongue, like
I don't think you'll. Yeah, there's no way.
I ain't gonna be able to see that. You'll spill it all over the computer.
Oh yeah, I'll just literally dump my water on the computer. That was fucking stupid. See,
Yeah.
This is why people probably don't listen to me, because I'm also dumb. So you know,
I have all this health advice about.
yeah, check this out. Watch how you destroy a fucking computer in 3 seconds.
Yeah, don't do that.
But
Well,
yeah, it's been.
Did you ever
very,
try?
very-
Did you ever try Atkins?
What was that one? That was like the no bread carb.
That was like the
wasn't
fad
it?
we were in school. I can't remember. Is it no bread or calorie counting or?
Yeah,
I think it's no bread.
I guess it's a lot of the carbs type thing, which I think you need carbs to an extent, but it's the excess. It's like the going to Roadhouse or Olive Garden and having the 1,000 breadsticks, having the 1,000 rolls. Like
Now you're speaking my
that's
language.
weird. Yeah, me too. It's fucking delicious. That's bread is one of my hardest ones, and I just have to tell myself no. Like
So that's where we differ because I could give 2 shits about bread. Now, you give me like Texas Roadhouse roll, I'm gonna eat those all day. But like my dad's always like, he's different now, but growing up, man, we had to have bread and he'd sit there, bread and butter. And
Yeah.
that was like a side dish. And I go, that's god awful. Why would you do that? Because
Yeah.
there's nothing there. Give me more meat.
I need the meat.
And
But I think that's a big part of it too, is like you do your thing and I do mine. Like I said earlier, this was just something that I wasn't happy with. Like I would look at myself and it constantly bothered me. And I was like, hey, you can sit here and keep doing this day after day, or we can fucking do something about it. Like, and that's kind of that victim mentality. Like you can look back and be like, oh, I got fat. All right, well, and then you kind of have that, like, okay, do I want to fix it or am I cool with where I'm at? And I told myself I was cool with it for years. Like I looked around at people I was around and I'm like, this is just normal. This is fine. Well, then like the little health problems would start, or like I'd go do something with my kids and I'm fucking exhausted, or I've been down to tie my shoes and I gasp for air because I can't bend over and tie my shoes anymore. And it's like, okay, hey, this, not only am I like mentally not enjoying this, but now physically this is becoming a problem. Well, then people that I was around started having health problems, and I'm watching these people that I'm kind of like, oh, they're fine. Like I can eat the way I'm eating and drink 6 Cokes at lunch and do all this crazy bullshit and I'll be fine. But then you start seeing those people have health problems and it kind of kicks you in the ass and you're like, hey, I'd like to live to see my kids' teenage years. And I would like to not die over at 50 because I eat like a fucking asshole.
yeah. Have you ever tried the apple cider vinegar? The shot of that in the morning.
So I bought it, but I never did it. I think my wife did it once and said it tasted disgusting. And I was like,
it's not
cool, that's all I needed to know.
It's not a tasty drink by any means.
Well, no.
But I did it for 3 or 4 months every day.
Did you notice any differences?
I just didn't get, like, I just wasn't hungry. Like,
Yeah.
But now maybe that's the after effect is I just don't get real hungry. Like today I had to eat because I went and gave plasma. You can't go in there on an empty stomach and fucking pass out. So
Yep.
I took 2 protein bars, ate those on the way, hit that up, and then stopped off at Pappy's on the way home.
Hell yeah.
Because
Did
I
you
go,
get
I got to get my protein. They took a fucking jug this big full of protein out of me. So I got to
Damn.
really replenish.
You're going to pass the fuck out on this.
No, I'll be all right. About 9 when Home Improvement comes on.
There you go. That's about what time it was when we did that podcast last time when you were just like, hello.
Yeah, that's well, and
Hindsight,
I didn't eat too much that day either. Like,
Yeah,
I ate enough to get it done, and then maybe something small later on. But they told me you'll be fucking wiped out.
Oh yeah. Well, because they're pulling that shit out of your body. Like that's I don't know. I'm a big, like with that sound healing and stuff, I'm a big, like, your energy is very important. Like we talked about, like giving a fuck about too many things, that book of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. If you wander around giving fucks about everything, you don't have enough fucks to give to the things that matter. And I'm convinced that like your body's energy is like a big key to this too, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like things just like drain your energy, because we'll go do things and we'll get done. And like, there's times where I'm like really jacked up and I get done and I like can't come down. There's other times where we get done and I'm just like, oh my God, I am like a zombie and I can't, like, my brain doesn't function anymore. I'm just like, that took a lot out of me.
It does. Well, when the lights come on, it requires a lot of energy to do these things we do.
Well, because you just turn it on and you're on for, like, if we're doing wrestling, we talk nonstop for 3+ hours. And you have to, like, for me anyway, like, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to these guys if I don't give them my full energy every match. Because if you watch this back, like, yeah, some of them you get the full show, but a lot of them are clipped out. So you get the clips, and I don't want them to post the clip and people think that we were bored as shit watching their match. Now, granted, that might have been the case, but we're going to do our damnedest to make sure that it doesn't sound like that on the thing. We're going to put it over the best we can, but it takes a ton of energy. And then, like, you're on the microphone, you're entertaining, you're talking to people. And, like, most of the time I'm fine, but afterwards, sometimes it's like, whoa, I don't know what happened, but I am done.
No, it just, takes a lot of brain power and a lot of just discipline to Glasses fall.
Yeah,
fall.
that's all right. Do you feel like it's gotten better over the last like year and a half, almost 2 years, I guess, now that we've been doing this? Where
Me
like,
getting gassed at the end of the night? No.
yeah, almost like you always make me laugh. You've definitely gotten better, I feel like, because when you're tired, you can tell you're tired because you don't give a fuck.
That's
I can
true.
always, I'm just around you so much that like I don't think most people notice it, but I can tell when you're done and you're tired and you're just like, if somebody else fucking talks to me one more time, I'm gonna smack somebody, or you'll just leave and you're just like, all right, I'm dipping out. See ya.
That happens too. And then I just because that's where I'm like, I need to go back to my fortress of solitude and not do anything and just hang out with my loved ones, because usually the next day after we do a show or do some sort of entertainment, I'm not leaving. Like I don't want to go do anything. I'm just like, I'm good. Now sometimes we have to do back-to-back nights, and then by the next day, you won't even find me. I'll be hidden.
But I think that's literally what I do. That's why you don't see me like on social media a bunch. You don't like you see me on these things, but other than that, when I get done with these, I try to just go back to life. Like I actually just had a message from somebody that had messaged me on Facebook a while back, and then I got another one that said, "Hey, are we good?" And I just saw it today, and I was like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. Like I do my best to check like the business page and stuff, but I'm not a real big fan of just like jumping on here and like getting on my thing." That's what honestly I haven't even like I don't know that I've even shared much on our page. I'll remember every once in a while and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to get on here and fucking like and share some things or whatever, just to like try to help with what we're doing. But I've learned that with this too, is like I went through spurts where at first I wasn't even on Facebook when we started this. I had completely checked out and I was not interested in getting back. But the more we were doing, it was like, oh, I've got to like participate and help with this. So I've tried to, but then I went full bore into it that way, where then I felt like, okay, well, I need to be on here and like and share everything that we do. Well, then I need to get on here and like these other things and make sure that like I'm interacting and whatever. And it was like, hey, if you get on there and do it. But like, I'm not making this a part of my day that I have to do it. If I feel like it, I get on there and do it. Awesome. If I don't, it is what it is. Like I can't keep up with everything on social media because it's freaking exhausting.
It can be. It's just, and I'm out and about so much. I'm just like, I think every time's a photo op. So we usually have plenty of shit going on.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah. Well, I try to have fun going to the fucking grocery store, other than when it's like this outside Planet Hoth. There's been times I'm like, I just want to get in and get the fuck out. And that doesn't happen too often, but I'd say Sunday. Was it Sunday? I had to go to the store. I'm like, I'm in and out. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. Of course, there are in like 3 people, but
I think there's like, it's okay to not be on all the time either. Like, because it's a lot. Like, there are times that I like to go to, like, because I like to talk at the gym and have fun, but there are also times that I like to go in there and put my headphones in and just go after it. Or same thing with the store. Like, if I go in there, if people see me or I talk to people, it's like, hey, what's going on? Whatever. And then we go on about, but there's a lot of times where I am just head down. I'm getting the 3 things I need and I'm getting the fuck out of here as fast as possible.
Yeah, maybe I need to start wearing my hood up.
There you go. Just go. You gotta quit wearing the fucking glasses though.
I can't wear other glasses.
You're like a luchador. You just have your mask on at all times.
Have my fucking sunglasses on. My body glove sunglasses. Body glove, if you're listening. I'm wearing the glasses.
Yeah, he needs red ones. We just need to tag them. We need to tag them when we post this tomorrow and just
I look
tell
good
them.
in red. More of a.
You need your official red velvet body glove sunglasses.
These are like, yeah.
Or if any other sunglass manufacturer wants to give him a pair that looks like those, but
I need this style though. It's kind of molded in my face now, and I like it.
It's become part of you.
It's become part of. It's like my dreadlocks that I don't have. I'm bald as shit right here. My wife goes, "You need to cut your hair because you got devil horns," and I go, "Well, whatever."
Ooh, I do. I like that. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah, well, I also have the yarmulke spot, where I need a yarmulke too. So.
Ooh, I got one of those too. That's why my hair's always shaved, because I learned that on one of our, I think it was the youth show. We were sitting on the camera beforehand. I was trying to fix something and I was looking down and I'm like, oh my God, Like, I've got
What
a
is
big
that?
ass bald spot back there. We gotta.
Yeah. Apparently, I've had a bald spot since 6th grade.
No, there you go.
That's what I remember. I'll never forget it because I was almost mortified. That was when I gave an F. You know.
Yep.
I was walking to English class. Mrs. Witham's English class in 6th grade. Go Galahads. And this girl named Megan. She goes, "You have a bald spot," and I'm like,
Thanks,
"What?
Dick.
No, whatever." I should have turned around and said, "Yeah, we're like 300 pounds," but I was a nice person then. So,
Isn't it interesting? Like, that's something I've learned on this journey too, where you're kind of like unraveling these things that either mentally you struggle with, whatever. And there were a lot of those little things that came up where it's like you start like talking about stuff and it's like, oh, this is why I do that. Like, but people were just assholes.
yeah, they were.
It's like, man, did you really have to call out my bald spot? Or like, I remember there was a time where I wore a shirt that I had just bought, and I literally just woke up that morning, took the tags off, and went. And when I got to school, I remember exactly who it was, but I will not out the person. But they were like,
well, you got to tell me off air.
I will. I'll tell you after. But they were like, oh, new shirt, huh? And I was like, what? And they're like, did you not even wash it? And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I didn't realize that was like a thing. And then that stuck with me. So then I never did that again. Or like, you wear the same shirt twice in a week or something, not even thinking about
You're
it.
a dirty butt.
Yeah, and it's like, well, no, I just got in the fucking dryer and that was the shirt that was in there. So I grabbed the motherfucker. But then you have this like,
is that a rule? You're supposed to like wash your clothes as soon as you get them new?
I guess. I just remember that.
Do that. Like I never did that because I'm like, no, I want it because it'll shrink. I don't.
Yeah. Well, and like it's a brand new shirt. Like you throw it in the dryer, whatever. Like it was, I don't know, never crossed my mind that was going to be a topic of conversation. And then like someone says that to you and you're like, but I think that like that happens a lot through life where these things, whether like these little one-off moments throughout life that like kind of develop who you are as a person. Like, and that could be good, bad, and different depending on how you choose to react to these things. So that's kind of why I try to teach my kids this stuff where it's like, hey, who fucking cares? Like we've had conversations where we've left places and my daughter's like, oh, I did this, or my son says something. And I'm like, hey, do you remember what this person was wearing? Do you remember what this person did? No. And I'm like, nobody remembers what you did either. Everybody's doing the same thing you're doing. And they're all in their head thinking about this shit. Like, unless you do something incredibly outlandish or crazy, not too many people are going to remember because most people aren't really paying attention to you as much as you think they are. And it's like, so you kind of realize that and you kind of break that, not giving a fuck what people think either because of that. Because you realize like, oh, none of this means anything. Like,
when do you think for you, what age, or let's go grade, because my wife says I never left fucking school because I always compare. She's like, who's that? And I'll say their name. I'm like, well, how old are they? I'm like, well, they were like 2 grades above me in school because that's just, it's easier math than saying, oh, they were born in 1987. I'm born in 89. Like they're 2 grades ahead of me in school. So that gives you a ballpark. But what grade did that, like, you start getting like self-conscious of what everybody thought?
So I think there was a little bit of that in elementary. And I say that because I remember this is going to be hilarious because I'm the exact opposite of a person now, but up until like probably 3rd or 4th grade, I always wore jeans to school. So one day all my jeans were dirty and I had to wear sweatpants. And I remember like being terrified to walk into school because I thought people were going to make fun of me because I was wearing sweatpants. I wasn't wearing jeans, and and then I was like, I went through school, nobody said anything. And I was like, oh, like this was just a random fear.
We survived.
Yeah, kind of thing. Like, but then I think through like, you kind of have that when you get older in elementary, but then you go into middle school and everything changes. So then like,
middle school is fucking like ground zero of that.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that's where a lot of people like develop a lot of things. I think you kind of learn how to interact with a whole new group of people because you've been with your like core through elementary. Well, then you're basically flung into Gen Pop, and now you got everybody in the yard, and you have to go out and kind of mingle and everything else. So you get that difference of opinion, and I think that's just human nature to kind of like when you're navigating it, you're like, oh, I didn't realize like I wasn't supposed to say that, or you say something stupid, or you're like having fun singing a song and somebody looks at you and goes, the fuck are you doing? You sound stupid. You can't sing. Well, then you go your whole life having that complex of like, well, I should shut my mouth. I shouldn't sing because that person told me back in 8th grade that I couldn't sing. So like there's stupid shit like that I'm.
Yeah, I'd say like for me coming from the big school of Jackson Township, shout out Hornets. I'd say 5th grade, maybe late, because like I was a huge wrestling fan. Like when I say huge, like we're talking stupid huge.
Yeah.
But then by the time 6th grade rolled around, I'm like, not gonna be fucking saying that shit.
Yeah, because you're afraid that everybody's going to make fun of you. And in reality, most people like wrestling. Most people watched wrestling and you pretend like you don't like it. I wish people would just like what you like. Quit being fucking mean to people. If they like something, they like something. If you don't like it, fuck off.
That's a good point. But we know the middle school does not. Like that's a whole different beast. And that's where I'm like, oh, I got 2 more kids to get through middle school.
Yeah. And that's why like I try my best to explain shit to my children and talk to my kids. I'm sure I do it way too much at times, but I would rather explain things to them and have them comfortable coming to talk to me about whatever it is. Because then you can just, hey man, like this is all this is. Like this kid has a bad home life. This kid has this. This kid's struggling with this. Like that's why they're doing this, whatever. Like, because I wish that I would have had that, like that ability to like cognizantly understand like back then, oh, this person just didn't like that I was doing that because of this or that, or like you kind of pull at people's insecurities and their things when you're having fun and being yourself, and some people don't like that. Or there's times that I say shit that I'm sure people don't like because I just talk like I talk about the way I see things, the way I feel things, and I just like I don't know, I try to be me all the time.
Yeah. No, I just think of all the random shit that happened in middle school, and I'm like, middle school is the cringiest time. Like, you're trying to figure yourself out. Everybody's trying to figure themselves out, yet making fun of each other. It's like, I don't even know what you call it.
So
prison, I guess. But
so I have a question. Do you think, because like obviously we both feel very similar about this. So do you think that's where like this participation trophy style thing came from, as the fear of our generation of like having to deal, like having your kid deal with that? Like, is there something to that maybe where it's like collectively we all fear that our kid's going to be bullied, our kid's going to be the outcast, or so then everyone's just like redlining all the time, trying to make sure that doesn't happen?
You just don't want your kid to be left out, and when your kid's left out, I know from experience, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
but that also develops them as humans too. And that's, I feel like that's our job as parents to kind of jump in and go, okay, yes, this sucks, but also life's going to suck at times. And I'd rather you learn it this way and let me, because we've definitely had those moments where it's like, this sucks, but here's what we do with this. Yeah.
I mean, that's, I've told all 3 of my kids, even, you can scold me if one as a parent. I just said, fuck them. I said, they don't invite you to this party. Fuck them. Cool. Yep. Like they'll call you when they need something, and then you can say, no, I'm good. And then they can figure it out from there. Dude, I mean, growing up, I was left out of shit too, dude. Like I didn't have the coolest toys, or I didn't have the coolest things, or I was when you got me comfortable, I became a loud person, and
because you were being yourself and you were having fun. Like,
and maybe that wasn't the cool thing to do in the high school. I don't fucking know, but it was like. But looking back, I was like, man, I was the motherfucker you called when you needed something, like you needed move shit, or if you wanted your fucking party to be fun, you called me, and it's like, okay, so that was.
But that's a good skill to acquire too, is being able to see that and tell those people to go fuck themselves. I think that's because you get taken advantage of because you're nice, but then you realize that it's a lot of take. And hey, can you help me with this? And they're like, no, sorry. And it's like, oh, okay. I see how this is. Like, got it. And being able to like,
there's too many people at this party already. You can't.
Yeah. And that's such a fucked up thing to say to somebody, but you do.
That happened to me. That happened to me. That's after I left your fucking birthday party to go to air quote another birthday party. But then I got told on the way there, hey, it's full next time. and I
Well,
got
you
dropped
were
off.
always
at my
welcome
house.
at mine. You could have came back.
Well, leave that at the firehouse.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
Dude, I know it was 10th grade. But 10th,
Oh, yeah. We were like
16th birthday
16,
party.
17, weren't we?
Yeah. I didn't have
I
my
was trying to
license
figure out
yet,
which-
and I got dropped off because they're like, "Oh yeah, your party wrapped up," and they're like, "We're going. My parents aren't home at this other party, and we got all these people coming." And I'm like, "Cool, that's awesome." They're like halfway. They're like, "Yeah, dude, sorry that I got too many people. Next time though." I'm like,
That's such a fucked up thing to do.
Hey, man.
Like, I mean, and I really hope, like, I think that society is getting a little bit better at that, but like, I really think that's a lot of what you see now is like people living out of fear of like these things that happen to them, and like they don't talk about it. Because
Yeah.
like I think that's where we've grown with this is we've learned how to talk about things. I've learned how to talk to my family. I've learned how to talk like, and it again, like you just said with being loud, I know how much I can talk, and I know that like I'll get into some wild conversations because I find everything fascinating. Like our world right now is insane. We were kind of diving into that a little bit beforehand, but you can also drive yourself crazy trying to figure it out. So you kind of have to like pick your battles, I guess.
"Oh yeah,
But I
Oh, yeah.
hope that like as a society we just get like kinder, little more nice to people. Like that like small town vibe I wish would go everywhere.
Global.
Like where people like you walk by and you tell people hi, or like I don't know, just more positivity and less of the negative bullshit. Like if I get on Twitter, everything, the world's crumbling at every given moment. The world's crumbling. People are the Antichrist. People are God's gift to the world. And it changes so frequently. There's UFOs. There's wildfires. And like I used to consume myself with like obviously people listen to this podcast. There's been multiple times where I've like gotten on here and been like, hey, there's a lot of fucking crazy shit going on. And I still think there's a lot of crazy shit going on, but they flood Twitter, whatever, with all of this information. And it can't all be true. There's not a damn chance that it's all true, which leads me to believe that whichever side, I guess both sides possibly, they just flood with the opposite narrative of what's being put out there. So then you can get on the internet and find any opinion about anything you want. It like you can Google like Trump's the Antichrist, Trump's the best person in the world, and you're going to get information on both of those sides because that's just the way of the internet. And it doesn't. Same thing with the UFOs. It's China. It's UFOs. We don't know what the fuck it is.
it's
Like-
WWE."
Yeah, the WWE's got belts flying around in the sky, and like we don't think that these could possibly be man-made drones. But it also could be UFOs. It could be both. Like they could be trying to figure out what the hell they are too. But it's so damn confusing, and there's a lot going on in the world. And I hope people take that step back. Obviously, this is a very long-winded approach to this, but like just take a step back and be fucking nice to people. Like there's zero reason to be assholes. Like they're just, it's not. It's so pointless. It's such a waste of time and energy. And yeah, I've had to learn that also.
Hey, it's just be nice. Include as many people as you can into things because nobody wants to be left out. We've all been left out at one time or another. If anybody says they have, it's full of shit.
Yep.
So, like, again, it's tough to include everybody, but try your best.
And also, everyone's dealing with something. Like, I mean, there might be some people that aren't dealing with something in life, but I'd be pretty hard pressed to find one. I assume it could be love, job, finances, family, house. It literally doesn't matter. Pick your poison. Addiction. It does not matter. Everyone's dealing with something that you know nothing about, and I think that's why I try to do things the way I do and speak the way that I do. Just, I don't know, bring some attention to it, I guess. And hopefully people can take that step back. And I feel like our community does a great job. Like there's not a ton of like, I don't know. I don't get that when we walk around here, but you venture out to other places and people just are not friendly, or you get on Twitter and watch the way of the world and everyone's just motherfucking each other left and right and killing each other. Like I've watched just this morning I bet I wasn't on Twitter for maybe 15 minutes total today, I have
Yeah.
watched 3 people get shot and die. I have watched probably 10 plus fights where it just
Yeah.
like these kids are in school just beating the fuck out of each other, and there's not an adult to be found. And it's like,
Well,
what is happening?
I don't think people that say hideous things on the internet would say the same thing to face.
No.
It's just,
Well,
and not
no.
the whole, you get punched in the mouth. No, it's just, you read people different. When you
Yeah.
see shit on text, you can determine that however you want. There's no tone, there's no
100%.
delivery. And that's what, like, same thing, like when my wife posted that video of our daughter that went fucking viral.
Yeah.
And there were some negative comments on it, thinking, why crying over shit. That's not, they wouldn't, if they were in the same fucking room that happened, they would understand why. They would understand. They don't understand. They didn't see the whole story. They don't know the whole story. And nobody said anything hideous, because I snap back at about everybody that said anything negative.
Yeah.
Just that's just what I'm going to fucking do.
Yeah.
But it's just like, but if we were face to face, they saw that reaction. They're not going to say that, so I'm not going to say that in return. I'm not going to say, I didn't remember what I said. I never called anybody a name, but I got creative with a lot of my responses.
Yeah.
A lot of it was, you can't fucking spell. But that's the big thing. If you're going to talk shit on the internet, use your spelling and your grammar properly, because son of an English teacher here, buddy, I'm going to come in coming in with the fucking grammar swats.
And that's just, again, people can't help it. That's the way of the world in a lot of cases, in a lot of spots where that negativity is insane. Like, that's how most people make what we're doing work. They use the clickbait bullshit. They use the negative headlines. And that's what we talked about that when we first started this. Hey, that's not what we're doing. Like, we're going to build this off of us being authentic, us being ourselves and talking about what we want to talk about, but we're not doing it that way. Like, and I feel like that's what a lot of it is. You're feeding off of that drama, and the world's become a fucking reality TV show.
Oh, it is. And that's maybe a lot of the negative comments is people just want to be heard. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, people will react more to the negative.
Well,
than
it
the
goes
positive.
back to the happiness. People just aren't happy in life, and they're not happy doing what they're doing. They're not happy in their relationship. They're not happy with their it doesn't matter. Again, pick your poison. You're not happy about something, but you're doing nothing to fix it, and you're just sitting on the internet talking shit to people. Like, that's probably not super healthy. If you're sitting on your computer at all times, just motherfucking people on a keyboard all day long, every day, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. It's just find your happiness or your penis, whenever the two. Just find your
Maybe your happiness is your penis.
happy
and then
penis.
happy. Yeah, make your penis happy, and then maybe you'll be happy. I have no idea, but I think that's like just like what you were talking about with the weight stuff. I wasn't happy, and that's what drove me to do what I was doing. I wasn't happy with the way I looked. I understand that there are people that are absolutely happy, where like whatever. It's to each person's thing, and you have to find those things that piss you off, that make you unhappy, and start like rather than hiding from those demons, start tackling those damn things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, I was a runt, and when we were kids, I was a runt. Like, I was runting my family. My brother was always big. I was not. And I mean, it took me till fucking college. I got really fat, and then I was able to somehow transform it a little bit. But
yeah, you've done a great job, though. Like, you talked about that the other day. When you look at our old videos of like those first couple things we did, you're like, holy shit, I can like really see a difference there, because you've put in a lot of work, and it's not easy.
Yeah,
like, it is a motherfucker.
But that's where I'm like, when we graduate high school, I weighed 195 pounds. Do I ever want to be that again? Absolutely fucking not. Like, I have a range. I'm a little out of my range on the other side. Yeah. But I mean, we're looking at 250 to 285, and that's my happy place. And that's.
But are you going into the bathroom every morning and looking at yourself in the mirror going, you fucking fat piece of shit?
Oh, fuck no. Yeah, I'm like, look at this motherfucker, man. I got this fucking sex tank right here.
That's because you're a happy person. Like, and that's where I wasn't happy in my job. I wasn't happy in anything that I was doing. And then it was like, I quit the job, and it was like, oh, that relief was awesome. And then I just started going after, and I know I've talked about this a ton, but I feel like rehashing, especially at the first of the year, if you want to start that fitness journey, like, I'm I need to go find that picture and I'm gonna throw it up real quick. But
Okay.
like, it's so hard to like, because this is what a year and a half, 2 years, I guess at this point.
Probably.
Find. No, never mind. I don't know if I can switch profiles on Instagram. I don't know that I have it pulled up on here, so never mind.
Well, and that's the whole thing is like with me, I'm like, I weighed in today at 307. Even at 300, even when I was 320, I could still do some shit that I could do some shit that would impress people with athleticism.
Yeah.
Being 320 pounds. I'm not saying I'm going to the NFL or anything, but I could do some.
No, you are a genetic freak. It doesn't make any sense. We've had that conversation a bunch. You are like a legitimate genetic freak, and it makes absolutely no sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. And that's where I'm like, that's where I'm cool. Plus, I was little most of my life. I don't like being little. It ain't fun. You know, that's when you get picked on and shit. Nobody fucks with the big guys. Like,
yeah.
That's where I'm like, oh, cool.
Well, that's why you start toning up the muscles and stuff too. That helps.
Yeah.
That helps with that confidence of not giving a fuck about things.
That does too.
Because that's what I really want to find this picture now because I really want to throw it up there, but I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time fucking sitting here scrolling through my phone trying to figure out
You
where.
should have a separate album that says "Fat Fuck."
I know. I should have a lot of things organized. I'm doing better.
Like,
I got all of our shit
make me-
organized.
Getting a drink. Yes, I'd love a drink. Yes, Coke. You didn't hear that.
That's okay, dude.
I said Coke. Damn it! It auto-corrected. So if you want a drink, I said yes, Coke, and it's auto-corrected to cum. No, I do not want cum. Even though it's only 7 calories and lots of protein, I don't want it.
How often do you type cum? That is your
Not the
autocorrect.
cum. It was COME.
Oh, okay. I thought you just told your wife you wanted like a 32-ounce jug of cum as your drink.
The only reason I know that it's 7 calories was a girl that I was trying to, have relations with and struck out like most of my teenage years. What?
No, go ahead. Finish. I have questions. I already have questions, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay. She took some like sex ed class in college and she's like, did you know cum's only 7 calories? I'm like, you want a snack? And maybe that was what my fucking punchlines were not good.
I thought you were going to say that's why you got turned down once, was that she said she was counting calories and she couldn't take the 7 more.
No.
That's why I started laughing because that was immediately where my brain went, was that she turned you down because of I was like, that is like the worst like excuse to not.
No, my whole sales delivery on women was fucking terrible. That's why my wife had to do all the work. Yep. I'm not, like I said, I'm not good with signals. I got to have like the fucking airport director guy, like doing that shit with me. And that's it on the daily because I can't pick up the signals. It's like,
I've gotten better at paying attention, but I told you, we've had this conversation before. I don't think I've ever talked about it on the podcast or not, but like I've lived my whole life assuming that no one wants to talk to me. Like, that's just how I've always operated. Like, people probably think that I'm an asshole and that I just don't. Like, I just generally assume no one wants to talk to me. So I just kind of stay in my lane and do my thing. And that's pretty much what I do. Like, and I feel like I've always been like that. I've gotten much better about it. But like, I spent a majority of my life just going, nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody's attracted to me. So I just like the game with the females was non-existent.
No, I've learned now if you do stupid videos and you pack your pants, you'll know pretty fucking quick who's staring at your dick, though.
Yep. You did that with a clown wig one time, too.
I did that with the clown wig. I've done it with tube socks a lot. And
the clown wig was hilarious because that
clown wig. Well, it's because there was nothing. There was undies and clown wig. That was all the clothing I was wearing.
It wasn't even really undies. They were sort of undies.
It was like a loincloth, if you want to get equivalent. I caught them.
Not a lot
to find out how quick they're looking at my dick. Rainbow boosh. But yeah, I don't even know where I'm going from there. But yeah, that's signals.
I need to go now that I have all the new technology. I need to go put those photos into some cool like photo album and montage of those things because they did make their way out there, but I don't even know that I could like go find them on our page anywhere other than the original video we posted. But that's been almost 2 years ago. year and a half
Yes.
ago.
Well, it'd be a year and 2 months.
Because that was one of the first things we did, wasn't it?
It's close to the beginning.
Like,
yes.
Within like
Yeah.
the first 4 or 5 months, I believe, is when we randomly won that and then had to do
July,
it.
August,
fucking
September,
boudoir shoot.
October. It was the first 5 months. No.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Breaking down some barriers, because again, that was like one of my biggest fears, was even having my shirt off in front of people. And then I did a full photo shoot damn near naked. So,
I'm used to being naked. I was in Girls Gone Wild once.
see, that is the opposite of where I was at. Like I was, like I said, 300 pounds, very insecure, very fat.
I didn't say I looked good at any point in time. I was fat as shit, but I was in the movie. One of them. Well, at least, okay. I may not have been in the movie. I was there when they were filming, though, because I was working security for a cameraman, trying to get my foot in the door. Then I saw the documentary, 15 years later. I'm like, what the fuck was I getting ready to do?
Like, I messed up. I went into the wrong crowd.
That was a fun crowd. I'm not taking
At
anything.
their point, they were just
Shit
showing
they did.
movies.
Once you got on the bus, that's when it went downhill. In the
Yeah.
bars was cool. No. Mm-mm. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch the documentary.
Fucking nuts.
It was nuts.
Do you want to do the sponsors real quick so I can go pee?
Yeah,
I'm
I got to poop
piss my
too.
pants.
So.
All right, well, let's do the sponsors and then we can wrap this up. I'm about to piss my pants.
Thank you to our gold sponsors, Wabash Valley Plumbing. They lay pipe. It's our slogan, not theirs. Pappy's Barbecue. Meet, eat, repeat. Peak Performance Gym. No peak, no results. RJ's Formal Wear. They have sweet suits. I had to take mine back and get it cleaned. Stitch Brands. They embroider stuff. So thank you to all of our gold sponsors. I would thank our guests, but we don't have one, and Jared has disappeared. I don't know if he's coming back. Sometimes he doesn't perform well under pressure with this fella. You just
Fuck
gotta.
off.
No, I didn't know. I was trying to stall. as
Don't
much
do
as I
well under pressure. I get stage fright.
You had to poosh really hard. Have you ever do that? Like you had to pee and like you're in a hurry, so you're just pushing like a motherfucker.
Yeah, literally just did that.
But anyway, we're out of here. Keep pushing. Love you.
Love you.